coming up tonight. No smart meter, no MCS, yet money's still flowing in. Is this the best looking battery storage system? One of the guests sits down, Ben stands up. Joe meets his future self. And is balcony solar the future?
Welcome to eFIXX TV, our fortnightly live stream here on Facebook and on YouTube. And if you're joining us live, thank you ever so much. And if you're drinking a certain beverage, please leave it in the comments below. And if you like this sort of content, it's always nice to give us a thumbs up. Well, and tonight we've got a super exciting show, and our show is now solar exports. This story shouldn't be possible. So this should be an absolute cracker, and we're guaranteeing, we think, 4 bombshells in this live stream. So make sure you stay on, because you don't want to miss any of the 4, and that would be groundbreaking and changing news coming here tonight. But we have got a little bit of news at the start of the show. Unfortunately, this week we are not joined by the good Gordon Routledge. Old Stoneface is not with us because of personal reasons, and that personal reasons are the heartfelt love from here. Team eFIXX is out with him, and I'm sure you feel the same. So again, if you want to show that love by smashing the like button, that's the reason why Gordon isn't in today. But you've stepped in, and have we had much fun today, Joe?
Oh, it's been absolutely hilarious. I think everyone's going to find out a little bit later tonight. My cheeks really hurt. They've just been laughing all day.
Yeah, and if we can replicate what we've done off camera, on camera, we'll be in a great place. But just tell me who's in that green room.
So we've got Aaron Darvill, I think I've said that right, from Anker, and we've got the wonderful, the legendary, the super slim, the gorgeous. Oh yeah, it is Griff. Yes,
it is Griff.
There's Griff. Yeah, there he is.
Yeah, if you can't quite see him, folks, we'll try and get him to move around a bit and that. So
yeah.
Right by our Greencable bin, which will get an absolute thumping tonight, but there is only one person doing the race wall, so again, 50% chance of getting the name right, I would suggest, when you've only got one to go at, so that should be good. Now, the topic tonight is going to be across a number of different aspects. Obviously, straight away, we've got that issue on solar. Solar's a massive thing, and again, the government have mentioned bits, and we'll bring those up later on in the show as well. But we've got the good people at Anker. And when you look at something from Anker, it always reminds me of the new Griff. Why would it remind you, an Anker product remind you? And we've got a nice long, tall photograph of it. We'll probably bring that in. Oh, yeah. Why does that remind you of Griff?
Look how slim it is.
It is.
Okay. Look at that.
It's tall, beautiful, slim. Now, when you look at this picture, when you look at this, I nearly got robbed of my great joke from earlier on. So when you look at this picture, you can't actually see Griff because he's the other side of Gordon, and he would be invisible compared to that solar inverter. It is possibly, not Gordon here, it is possibly the most gorgeous solar battery solution on the market at the moment.
I've got to shadow what Gordon said on this one. I would challenge anyone in our community to find a better looking battery.
OK, and I would challenge anyone in the eFIXX team to find a better-looking presenter than Gordon. An easy challenge there. So they're in the green room. You're going to introduce them. They're going to come in one at a time, and they're going to come in. Who's coming in first?
So we've got Griff Thomas from Gtec and Aaron Darvill from Anker SOLIX.
Yes, come on, Griff. In you come. Come on, Aaron. You're going to take the seat down there. OK, and in you come here. Aaron, well, so we're going to start this off with a bit of banter. I think that's the best way to start it before we crack on with your 60 seconds. What we're trying to do here for you folks is, we've mentioned it on social media today, that 3 people on the couch are currently injecting themselves, OK, in order to lose weight, OK? We've been on Gary's journey. Gary's journey was tomatoes on brown toast and all the rest of it. So what we've got here is, we've got the before. This is Joe, OK, 3PO.
Do I need to stand up?
No. People can see your man boobies from there. OK, so this is, and you've started the injections this week, is that right?
Yes. So started on Friday.
OK, and then we go over to... Now, this is the after. So this is you with a beard shave, but this will be the after. You've been on them a year, Griff, haven't you?
Yep.
So this is what... How many stones have you lost?
6.5.
And you're going to go for one more as money in the bank? Is that the idea, in case you pop back up a little bit?
No. That's me, done.
6.5 stone,
that's
30-inch waist.
Yeah, 30-inch.
And you're also a dabbler in the injection?
Yeah, I mean, I lost just over a stone so far.
And how long was that?
4 weeks.
Yes, it was.
I was going on holiday.
You were going on holiday. And I'm sure you've recognised, like I have, and we're allowed to do this. Well, your name is Aaron, OK?
Yes,
but I think you are the Aaron Carr of the electrical industry.
I would tend to agree.
Please stay on, because he is hilarious, and we've got the dry wit of, obviously, Griff as well. This is going to be an absolute cracker for the 4 bombshells and the guests we've got. But let's introduce them in 60 seconds themselves, so they can tell you a little bit more about themselves. So if we go, first of all, for the little man over there. So if you want to say, Griff, about yourself in 60 seconds to tell the audience all about yourself.
Yep, I'm Griff Thomas. I'm founder and MD of Gtec Training and also of Heatley. And we train people with our partners all over the country, about 4,500 people working with merchants, distributors, wholesalers and direct access courses. I've been around the solar industry quite a long time now. Every time I think back to some early things, I think, oh, I'm really old, which I am, but wearing it well. So that makes up for it. Very heavily involved still in the renewable sector and the standards. I'm a member of JPEL 64D, which is the committee that specialises in the special locations, of which solar is one of them, and also contribute to some national and international standards on energy storage.
You are writing some of the documents that people will not be reading on this live stream.
That's
and
right.
We're going to point them in the right direction
Yes.
on some of those bits.
Yeah.
You're too kind sometimes.
Yeah.
And if you want to know about Griff's training, we've left a link in the description. If this is a sector that you want to get in and you want the best training, it is the best training. It's award-winning training.
Award-winning.
Award-winning training in the country. So that's good. So you've got to beat that, the Aaron Carr of the electrical industry.
Okay.
60 seconds.
So my name's Aaron. I have been in the renewable tech for the last 15 years with battery manufacturers. From a global front, more specialised in sales and distribution strategies. Educational training is a massive thing for me. It's so lost in this industry. That's what I'm trying to inject back within this industry and business. Apart from that, I've got a nearly 13-year-old child who is going on the age of 22, constantly uses me as an ATM. And yeah, I'm moving house as well today.
We're not going to be stressed. And you were probably 12 hours off, 3 points and £1,000 fine. You had to nip out and fill that paper.
Yeah, just paid that one.
This is what we're up against today. It's been hilarious, folks. And we're going to try and replicate some of this in the next hour and a half. But we've got, obviously, a title, we've got an issue, we've got a problem. So, first of all, there's some dumb things in the UK, and if we were to segregate that on a map there, Griff, where is the dumb element of the UK and where is the not so dumb element?
Well, dumb's all over the country, right?
Right, okay.
In the north and the south. So we've got a big problem in this country with smart meters and how they connect to what's called the DCC, the place where all that data goes in and then goes off to your energy companies. In the south of the country, they tend to operate on a mobile network, so 2G into 3G. And in the north of the country, they operate on long-wave radio signals. It was designed originally to try and help get over the more hilly areas of the country. Probably hasn't quite worked out that way. But we've got lots of dumb smart meter assets all over the country.
And looking at it as a divide line, not to be disrespectful for anyone, when we go above that line, it's more of a chance that even a smart meter is actually in dumb mode. We're not necessarily talking about meters that have no smart features. It's a smart meter. And we've got about 2 million on both domestic and commercial premises that aren't able to connect to those smart features.
Yeah.
Right. Stop. Before you panic and think to yourself, if I'm in the north, I can't have one of your wonderful batteries.
True.
Okay. Just because my meter might be dumb, can I still have a solar array and a battery?
100%.
What will I miss out on of the benefits of having solar and battery?
I mean, look, you're saving energy, you're saving money by having storage, you're being in control of your own energy needs, how you want to use it within the household. As your family grows, you can add on additional storage. You can do that with many batteries now, most modularity. There are obviously the smart tariff rates.
Now that's the clue there, I would suggest, because if I haven't got a smart tariff rate, I won't be able to maybe charge my battery overnight. Is that true?
You can charge your battery overnight.
But I'll be paying the real money, wouldn't I?
Potentially.
That's not a very clever idea, is it? Well, I can play 24p in the day, but if I charge it overnight at 24p, I can save it in the day, can't I? So we've lost that one. Is it the EV one as well? Would that be a struggle for me? Obviously, if my meter isn't smart, will I be able to tap into the smart tariff for EV charging?
Yeah, it depends on the nature of smart that you want. So there's some dynamic smart tariffs, which do require a consistent, reliable, stable connection. And then there's the dumber smart tariffs. So maybe like the old conventional off-peak, the white meter, radio teleswitch kind of thing, where that can still be a massive benefit, and they're still open to everybody.
Yeah, and that's more likely to give you the equivalent of economy 7. Is it going to flick you over a period of time, flick you back? Right, okay. You're currently charging yours up overnight, though, aren't you? You've got a battery system home. You've only just introduced a sprinkling of solar panels. So how did you find managing your energy with a smart meter and the fact that you could rely on those cheaper tariffs at certain times in the day?
Well, it was easy. It did it for me for some bits, but then I am in the south, so I've got a reliable, energy meter thing which, talks to the, what do you call it, the
DCC.
DCC.
Okay, so you think it's a great system?
It's got improvements.
No, not your system in the general, the idea
Oh, the general.
of...
Oh, no.
Bear with me, folks. This is what Gordon deeply missed, mate. So you love it, don't you? Show
No,
me
I
what you're
do.
gonna check.
Absolutely. Yes. So I'm with you now.
Yep. So Anker system, we can do all of this.
Yes, you
So
can.
we can go up to how many kilowatt hours on that lovely battery?
So you can go up to 180 kilowatt hour capacity.
Wow.
Yeah. So we class ourselves as like residential predominantly,
Yep.
but then you would say maybe early stage commercial, but we have a bit more of a community vibe around the brand on that size capacity. Football clubs, rugby clubs, village halls. That's the sort of communities that we want to help.
Okay, that's good. Now, you had a problem at home, didn't you, Griff?
Oh, lots of problems.
Okay,
but-
let's not. We know that one. We know
Yes,
that one. Yeah.
yeah.
She'll find somebody else.
I know.
Okay, so you've got loads of problems at home.
Yep.
Yet you are the man. You're the bloke. I wouldn't want to go head to head with you in anything. Well, maybe I would actually. An eating competition.
An eating competition.
Yeah, I've seen what you had tonight for your meal.
Yeah, it wasn't a lot,
nothing.
was it?
You ordered a lot, but you ate nothing, did you? So you're the person with the problem. You at home have got a meter that isn't smartly connected in any way. Is that true?
Yeah, that's right. So when we had our battery storage installed a couple of 3 years ago, I obviously wanted to take advantage of smart tariffs. So I had a smart meter installed, but it ended up just being a dumb meter.
Because of its connection.
Because of the connection to the long wave radio in my case, because I'm in North.
Okay, you're in the north, right? So with that in mind then, your tiny solar array at home, what, you got 6 or 8 panels, what have you got?
Yeah, I might have a few more than,
Give me about 10 or 12.
that.
10,
Well,
12.
keep going.
30?
30 kilowatt at least, yes.
So you've got
Wait.
3-phase supply?
No, funnily enough, no, it's just a single phase supply.
So you've got-
But it's perfectly possible.
apparently, if you write the books. Okay,
yeah.
it helps. So you've got over a 30 kilowatt array at home.
Yep.
Single phase supply.
Correct.
And there is a chance, I'm just going to go out on a limb here, that maybe you produce slightly more than you need.
Only if it's not the weekend.
Okay.
But yes, we do produce a lot more than we actually need at home.
Right, so under the system you were currently in place of,
Yep.
you were actually sending it back for freeway? You were doing your bit for the environment?
That's right. So we had the DNO approval for the capacity export, but because we had no means of metering it, then we were just pushing it back and not getting, at the outset, should I say, not getting the smart export guarantee.
Just to explain that picture for me there, because there was a massive number there in the bottom right-hand corner. So 6,300 kilowatt hours.
Yeah, it's not bad for a day's work, is it?
Was that just on the 7th of June?
7th of June.
Well, 15th of March, 20 kilowatt hours. 7th of June, 6,300. Now, it's been really sunny though, Gary. You know, we've had a bit of sunshine in that period, but
Yeah, that's the idea.
yeah, it's
Okay.
not a bad
So-
start to the year.
But we're in a part of the year now where that problem's been solved, and that's what this first part of the journey is, along with the beautiful, and we expect the comments, have you found anything more beautiful maybe than yourself or your Anker
I'm
SOLIX?
trying to be as thin as the X1.
Oh, yes, you got a way to go.
I've
sir.
got a way to
Keep
go.
jabbing.
We'll
Keep
get there, Aaron.
Yeah,
A few
We'll
more
get
jabs.
yeah. So- and yeah, you two struggled to eat as well, didn't you? I did well. I've got to be careful.
Well, you ate half of mine.
I did. It was lovely. I'm going to have that next time. So back in the real world. So so this journey, was it a fortnight to get it sorted? You wouldn't want to spend a month on it because that's electricity you're giving away. How long did it take for you to get the conclusion you knew from the start that you were allowed to get?
7 months.
You're a patient man. You had a full set of hair, didn't you?
Patient, larger.
5 stone, yeah. heavy.
But as you know, as many people know, I often think I'm right about things.
You are right about things.
And it was as much a personal challenge to try and make sure that everybody can access what they should be able to,
Yeah.
without artificial barriers being put in place. So
Okay, let's paint another picture then. So you've got this giant solar array, a single phase supply. You've got a huge amount of excess energy that you really want paying for.
Yep.
Okay, don't we all? So when you had it installed, obviously it was MCS registered at that moment in time, as we
No.
went.
I thought they had to be.
And that silence was there
Yeah,
because I was
that was
dumbfounded.
genuine
Because that was,
silence.
it's a little bit new to me, that was. Okay, we do practice bits of this before. So you're telling me you've got no MCS and
Correct.
you're now going to try and get one of the energy suppliers
Yep.
to allow you with a non-MCS arrangement. It's Octopus. You must be on Octopus.
Has to be octopus.
Is it Octopus?
no,
No.
Okay.
No.
So it's not. So this is probably going after someone that hasn't give everybody the nod. Is that right?
that's right. So
Wow.
couple of years ago, year and a half ago, maybe now, we saw Octopus opening up the market a little bit and allowing people to go through a certain process and pay a fee, get an evaluation. But that's not actually what the regulations say. So I wanted to try and demonstrate this not only for me, but for the industry as to how people would be able to access the SEG payments without an MCS certificate.
Just remind us what SEG stands for.
The Smart Export Guarantee.
Okay, so you've got neither and you're going after them. So there's a couple of hurdles. Which hurdle did you go for first?
Getting the accreditation of the system without the MCS certificate.
This could be the first bombshell, folks, for those people who don't know. So Griff has managed to get his system accredited without MCS. And now MCS has probably become a beast in its own right, and probably as an industry we've fueled that beast. But there's going to be some documentation we're going to show in this part of the show that maybe 100% suggests you don't need to go down that route, and you've done that and unpeeled it for us. But like many problems, it's obviously staring you in the face at the start, isn't it? It's plain sight. But what do electricians generally not do with instructions or documentation?
Well, like a lot of us, not just electricians.
But they're watching it.
But they're, are you sure?
Well,
it's all about reading the detail.
Yeah.
And taking into account the detail, not just accepting what people tell you and verbalise, and maybe to a little bit as well, challenging that convention and just seeing what the actual regulations say and then working out how can I comply with that.
Okay. Documentation-wise, let's pull up another document and see if we can talk our way through these. I apologise, there's no pictures for us. I love a picture, and I do love a picture. What's this one telling us, Griff, in short terms rather than people trying to read the entire text?
Yeah, so this was some correspondence I'd had with the energy supplier, and as you can see there, it's asking for us to provide specific documents, but it's saying that we've already accepted the accreditation that I'd provided.
Okay, unpack that.
So within that application process, there is a requirement to upload an MCS certificate.
I haven't got one. Did you
haven't got one.
Did you I bet
no,
you did.
Gary,
GPT?
no, got close, but no. That was a backstop. No, so because they had to accept the certification which had been provided, all they advised me to do at that point was to upload a blank document.
MCS is now a blank document. That is not the bombshell, though. So, okay. So you didn't have to... So they knew you were coming, did they? Because normally if a blank document lands on anyone's desk, they're going to instantly ping back, please attach the appropriate document. Yeah,
they did. So I set off on the journey by, first of all, applying for it without a certificate, without an MCS certificate. Yeah. So had my DNO, had my competent person scheme certificate, etc. That was refused. Naturally sort of accepted because it's often perceived that is what we have to have in order to get through the SEG. Just followed the process in a really nice way with the energy supplier and then went to a complaint. That's a bit harsh, isn't it? But a complaint to try and work with them so that we all understand exactly what the regulations say and what ultimately Ofgem dictate as being acceptable set of documents for somebody to receive SEG.
Yeah.
So that was the next step. So
that sounds interesting. Are you finding, obviously at these trade shows and things you're attending, that one of the barriers might be MCS for those installers that want to come on? They're seeing this opportunity. They've got the best looking, unless somebody can prove us wrong, solar battery inverter, okay. Is MCS been brought up many times with you about obviously cost and things like that? Is that a thing that could be a spanner in the works?
I think it's not so much cost, I think it's more the time it takes to become accredited and the process it takes to get that position. There's a lot of solar installers that we have that are a mixture of MCS and not MCS.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is that across Europe, or are we talking about in
Europe as a whole?
Yeah. So is there slightly different rules across Europe?
There are different rules in European markets, but in the UK we still have some that aren't MCS accredited.
Okay.
So,
Joe. So we're in a nice world. You're watching the comments come through. Mm-hmm. We're straddling this one. So what would you be doing, having not, you're in Griff's position, you've got no MCS registration on your battery install that you've done. You have applied for nothing. You're going to go and try and wing it. Yeah? Are you confident winging it?
No. Absolutely not. I would have just given it up and gone, do you know what? I'm just going to have to give my energy away for free. I wouldn't have even
Argued it.
argued the point. I genuinely wouldn't have even argued the point. I'd have just rolled over.
The man in the north. Look at that. You know, it's like he's just,
Look at that. Look, short arms and deep pockets.
He's stopped eating to save money. That's how tight he is. Okay. Yeah. He's worked out the jabs were cheaper than the food he was putting in his face. But he did.
Not far off.
No, I know you. I know you very well. Okay. So tell us what's next. So you've now got no MCS.
That's right.
And you're not going to get one.
No.
Good.
That's it. There we go.
See you in a fortnight.
No.
Okay, so
No.
what's the next bit of paper we need to see, or what documentation will unpack the story for
So I
us?
guess I was quite lucky, having been in and around the industry for quite a long time, knowing exactly what the regulations say. That's the legislation, the actual legal requirements that the energy companies have to operate under, as well as the guidance then issued by Ofgem. So, you know, like you get a really complex situation in any electrical world, you go to BS 7671, maybe if there's something goes wrong, you look at the electricity at work regulations, right? You've got to go back to those core documents, have a look at them. Now, I was a little bit ahead of the curve because I might have been around at the time they were formulated, might have had something to do with
might have
how
wrote
they
them,
were
might have
constructed, might have helped to contribute to some of them. So I sort of knew where to look, which helped because a lot of people wouldn't do.
Okay, so let's bring up the document that says we have to have MCS, or is this the one before it? Is this the one? Yeah.
Yeah, so this is part of the early correspondence, just trying to highlight there that it says at the bottom, on the guidance for SEG generators, which actually is sort of de facto legislation because the guidance is quoted in the statutory instrument. It calls up point 1.12 and 1.14, provides details on MCS certificate and accreditation.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's, to me, that's sounding like maybe you're on a little bit of thin ice here.
It felt decidedly not like that, but it's just an
Well, you know the
understanding.
next bit.
It's a story, right? And it's a script, and a lot of companies out there will just follow that same journey. There's a de facto position, and they just default to that for most of the time.
Okay, so you're going to go in, you're going to use the book, you're going to use another part of the written words. It's bound to be buried nowhere near the original statement that says, obviously MCS, it'll be pages and nobody would ever find it.
Hidden like you wouldn't believe.
Okay, let's see the next picture then. So obviously this is where we've hidden it. So again, I've got the wrong page here. Oh no, have I got the wrong page? So where is the one?
There we go.
There it is. Okay, so we're at 4.6, okay, and there it clearly says to me, do you agree with this, Joe, that MCS certificated there? So
It's black and white.
And that's what people read. Yep,
Yeah.
that's the one that we
Yep.
tend to
That's
find.
where I stop.
Yeah, so in effect, this is actually the guidance issued by Ofgem to the energy suppliers. So this is part of their standard license conditions. They have to follow this document. There is no option. And in there, the default just appears to be MCS or equivalent, but
So yeah, that is.
Yeah.
So I think you've penciled yourself into a very small corner. And you're
Yep.
a very small man. You can
Yep.
stand in a very
Look,
small corner.
you should
And if you haven't eaten
never-
anything, you stand there for a long time, couldn't you? Okay, in your small corner.
you should never ask a question you don't know the answer to, though, Gary.
Oh, let's find out. What's the next one going to say to me?
So
then?
what it says there is other equivalent schemes, but then it goes on to say that the standard license conditions define an equivalent scheme.
No, we're going to stop you there. This is 4.7.
Yep.
The other one was 4.6.
4.6.
Yeah,
It looks like it's hidden.
It's a long way away.
It's underneath.
It's
the other one.
right underneath it, actually. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When we flip
But we've
through-
read the first bit, so it doesn't matter. We already know what's required. We don't need to read anything else. We'll skip to another part of the guidance, right?
There it is. Explain this to me then.
Yep. So it says that the licensing conditions are actually defining an equivalent scheme. This is Ofgem's document.
Okay.
They're defining equivalent scheme as a scheme which is accredited in accordance with EN 45011 or EN ISO IEC 17065.
Now, would you think that most people watching this would understand what that means?
No.
Okay, so that's there. We'd read the first one. If we were going to read two and we read the second one, we would go, we don't know what that is, but we know what MCS is.
Yeah. So you
we-
default to the first one, right?
Absolutely, because that's
Yeah.
what you've heard of.
Yeah.
Unravel what that actually means, that two lines. What does it actually mean?
So a lot of people, a lot of viewers, I'm sure, are registered under a competent person scheme. A lot of viewers will be registered under MCS as well. In order for those certification bodies to be able to issue that certification to installers, they have to go through an assessment process with UCAS, the United Kingdom Accreditation Service, and they have to be assessed against a document In this case, that document is ISO IEC 17065. So it's just a way of doing things. UCAS come out and check the certification bodies are doing it. But the really key piece to this is that whilst MCS is an ISO IEC 17065 scheme, there are other ISO IEC schemes as well.
Right, which you sneakily had a membership from back in the day when you were 3 badge holder in the Scouts. Somehow you picked up the badge that required that one. Is that true?
No.
Okay.
So I just used a contractor who had that relevant certification.
Yeah, but that's a bit. Hang on, folks. Whoa. We don't get lucky. The guy that we work's got the 7,464 number after his name, so he must be a one-off. He must be the one person that you got lucky with.
You'd think so, wouldn't you?
Well, I will.
You'd think it would be tough. But
Yes.
did you know that every single competent person scheme is accredited under ISO IEC 17065?
Obviously not. So
So what that means is that anybody who's a member of a competent person scheme
Right.
that's covering the scope of work that's relevant, so as we know, solar PV is covered in BS 7671. If you're assessed against BS 7671, then you are accredited under a scheme in a CPS world, competent person scheme world. You're accredited under a scheme that is ISO IEC 17065.
you've delivered some training before, and that's why you're our green guru. Were you, when you were delivering your training, were you pointing them towards MCS, or were you pointing them back to their own competent person scheme?
MCS.
Yeah.
MCS. And I'll be honest with you, I feel like a mug. Genuinely,
Toby one, by the looks of things. That was a joke.
Are we at the bombshell? Because that's blown me.
So bombshell number 1, if we're a competent person, let's just pick one at random. If we're NAPIT, we're okay. We're on Clover.
So long as you've been assessed against those electrical competencies.
Which they do yearly.
Yeah, there are other.
If you have them a couple of times, you're yet to pass. So, yeah.
There are other. You might only have that certification for a specific task or duty, but generally speaking, all competent person schemes will cover all of the work under the regulations, and that covers solar PV. So anybody operating under a competent person scheme is an ISO or can produce certification in accordance with ISO IEC 17065.
First bomb dropped. So there we go. So we don't need MCS at all. So that's it. Don't need it. We can just go with a competent person scheme. How much money does anyone know they're roughly taking off people every year? Just a guess, 500 quid, I'm guessing.
I think last month's statistics were 26,000 solar installs, and I think the current fee is £30 an install.
Right, okay. So on top of the money they get from those installers to register,
Yes.
you do the maths, folks. I would suggest that's fantastic.
Yes, please do the maths.
Because we haven't done the maths on that. Because we only just heard it ourselves.
We haven't, and drop them in the comments.
You know when we did the practicing bit, Griff, this is where all these bits could have come out. Okay, so huge number. So what we're saying there is, there's your first one. There should be no barriers to going off and getting your beautiful Anker SOLIX. Shouldn't be.
Not at all.
Not at all, because as a competent person schemes work, we can go down that route. So I would suggest if they had floated themselves on the stock market, I would be selling my shares in MCS in the morning just before they find the fan has hit the, paperwork. So that's what I would suggest on that one. So we don't need it.
No.
And that's how you got over the first hurdle.
That's
How
right.
many months are we into your battle at the stage when they realised you didn't have to be MCS accredited and you used your installer who was competent person scheme registered?
Probably about 4.5 months in.
Wow.
It was a reasonably long journey. Again, you know, the people I'm dealing with are just used to following a certain path.
Text.
The people you're talking to on the phone are not going to be the people who are reading the regulations. As soon as you raise a question or a point, they're going to want to go off and explore it and have their lawyers look at it. And that we've got to work with, right? Take them on a journey and just never ask a question you don't know the answer to.
But again, you did it on behalf of the electrician.
That's right.
Yeah,
So we're all operating under the same standards, right? We've got the IET codes of practice, we've got BS 7671. They're covering all of what we need to know for installing both energy storage and solar PV. So it should really be now just mass market.
So your energy provider you were going to, I can't remember if you have named it, so I'm calling it energy provider at the minute. We know it is an octopus. They must have had to change their protocols now. So if you come in your way and say, I've got a competent scheme, that should now clear that box, and their bot or their AI agent or the human being eventually you get to speak to should move you on to the next stage. You're at the next stage now.
Yeah.
What's that look like? Apart from doing the quick maths.
Yeah,
3
so
months.
we got the SEG approval, which is fantastic, or we got approved to move on the journey for the SEG, and there came a point of realisation that my smart meter wasn't communicating.
They didn't know that, but you did.
You go through all that hassle, and it's
Yeah,
not at all.
different department, right?
Okay, so you played your card late as well.
Yeah. So, but you know,
Face one problem at a time.
face one problem at a time, over that hurdle, into the next one. And again, you know, would I have set off on this journey if I thought I needed a communicating smart meter? Probably not. So I know that you don't need a communicating smart meter in order to receive smart export guarantee.
Right. You're a clever man. Okay, yeah. We're going to keep dropping them, folks. They're going to keep coming fast. So you don't need it, okay? How do you get over that one then? So you've got a few kilowatt hours going back in. They're going to be shocked when they see your number. It's got fiddle written all over it, this has. I'll ring in with them. We'll see how I get on. Okay, so how did we do it?
So again, it's going back to what the legislation says, right? What does the smart export, what does the order say? That's a statutory instrument. And you do have to dig quite deep for this one, admittedly. But all it requires is there's a meter installed that can read at half-hourly intervals.
Right.
That doesn't need to communicate in a smart way.
Would it log its own data?
It logs its own data, and then just like reading any other meter, you can go to the meter, press some buttons on the screen, get the right one, send it in, add a zero. No, I'm joking. Send it in.
Is he though? Is he? We've had a joking day today. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you send that in. So we're going to bring up a picture of a meter for those people who don't know what we're going to have to see, or a video clip. Let's have a look at that. So that there, which looks like Triple H to me, isn't? And is it ham?
Yes, that's hand. So that's, but it's flashing.
So it's
Okay.
not
So it's basically saying it's not connected. That's a little video of my meter at home.
Han, H-A-N?
HAN, Home Area Network.
Okay, fine, Han. Okay, so that's flashing, so you know that, but it's going to log the data.
gonna
How
log
does
it.
the data go from there to them to get your cash?
Via me.
Oh, so we're back to the old days, are we? Glasses are on, you've seen the spinning disc. Yeah, which one is it? Which number do I not read? I won't read the first one. It's the last one, the first one, isn't it?
To be fair, it's only spinning if you've taken the wedge out, though, isn't it?
It is. And if you had one of those, I'd imagine you wouldn't have bothered because it would have been going
Probably
so
not.
fast backwards. Actually, they'd be paying you again for it.
That'd be good to watch, wouldn't it?
So every 3 months, did you say? Or every
Yes, that's right. Every 3
Quarterly.
months, so
Quarterly,
quarterly, we get a very nice letter or email that says, please, can you submit your smart export guarantee meter readings?
Okay, and it's a phenomenal number.
It was quite big in the last quarter, yeah.
Can you allude to what that put in the bank?
So I was really particular that I had to have smart export guarantee rates.
Okay.
So that isn't necessarily the best rate, but again, I wanted to go on the journey where it was all about the SEG and not some other tariff that might be on offer. And I think at the moment we're getting about 4 pence for that.
Okay, so that's...
So 4 pence at 6,300, Gary, is
It's all right, yeah, it's a good number, yeah, we'll go with that.
£240.
Good number, but if you'd have got 12, we'd have been on absolute, yeah, we'd have been over the grand.
Absolutely, yes, that's the next leg of the journey.
Okay, yeah, which is fine because you're going on those stage things, okay. It's good, isn't it? It's good, isn't it? We like it, don't we?
It's clever.
Have you got any solar at home?
I don't actually.
No, it's not. No, we knew you were going to say no.
To my own defence,
What defence?
to my own defence, I am moving house and I am having my battery installed.
Which one are you going for?
Of course, the X1. I'm going to go for the X1, and I'm literally 364 metres away from the coastal line. So that's why it works really well for where I'm moving to.
As in, what works really well?
Well, we are...
South-facing?
The X1
seaside?
is the only one that has a C5 anti-corrosion rating globally.
Ah, right, okay.
And like really no battery brand on the market ever discloses it.
What do they tend to do if they've got a bit of an issue? Because yours has been salt test. I've seen the test it's gone through. It's horrific, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean we've shot it. We've put
Shot it.
fireworks on it. We've driven over it. We've put it in a frozen fridge freezer for like 40 days. We've had 90 hours of CAS testing on Salinity.
What testing?
CAS testing.
What's that?
So it's the highest form of commercial testing that you can do for a C5 rating.
Okay.
Most batteries on the market sit between like a C3, C4. Some of the batteries on the market, and this is why I always say to installers, actually look at a warranty. The amount of people that don't look at a warranty, and there's so many clauses that you can find batteries shouldn't be or will fail their warranty if they're like installed 1,000 metres from a coastal line. There's one battery brand on the market that actually will fail a warranty 30 miles from a coastal line.
All right. Okay.
So there's this whole conversation going where, you know, installers want to have batteries installed outside.
Okay.
You know,
while you're talking, keep going. We're going to play the video,
Yeah,
so we
let's
can
play the
let's
video.
play the video so we can keep going with this. So you're going to be super close to the coastal, and you're going to virtually ground test that as well.
Yeah.
aren't you? What are they doing for some? I've seen them online where we've got a battery inverter outside, but they're having a little bit of extra ornaments added to the installation. What are they putting on those ones?
you'll find a lot of batteries on the market are IP65 or IP66, but they're then advising in the warranty to put like what I would call a water canopy.
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 Now, these are pastry-based delights.
Yes,
Of course, when
exactly.
it rains, they get a little bit moist and fall off.
Chilled. I mean, we don't need that. We don't require that. We're bog standard. We are IP66. We've got a galvanised coating. It's a C5 anti-corrosion rating. But a lot of the warranties will fail. Installers are installing still to this day, not looking at the warranty or not being educated on how to install the product properly. And I think that's where you're going to find a lot of corrosion within batteries. It's advised that we should be installing them outside for safety.
Yeah.
It will maybe and hopefully eventually become a regulation. I think we've thought outside the box a lot more with thermal boosting technology that we've got within our system, how it can charge and discharge independently from down -20 to +55.
So on the coast, that'll be about right on the lower end.
Yeah, I've had like snow on this system. I've had it jet washed for 7 hours, 7 days straight.
Well, who did that? That must have
One of my
done them in, didn't it?
one of
Standing
my-
there for 7 days.
One of my distributors held it, it was in Ireland. He literally held it and just plastered and put it onto a pole, and it just literally
Didn't think
blasted
of a pole. Good idea, pole.
Nice, good old pole.
Yeah, can leave that then.
Yeah.
And we've got them installed here then. So IP rating, just remind me again.
IP66.
Okay, yeah, for that. Battery storage up to how much?
So we go from anything from a 5 kilowatt hour battery module right up to 180 kilowatt hour battery module.
So we're stacking them there. I think we've stacked.
You've done a 3 stack, I think. Have you got
right.
a 3 or have you got a 4?
No, I think it's 3. So we've got the
You've got
inverter on the
3.
top. Yep.
Yeah, inverter, but we are a little bit different. We call it the power module.
Okay, what is that?
I just think it's because it's us. We're Anker. We have to be different.
Make sure you get your pronunciation right on those bits. Yeah.
Pronunciation.
So you're.
Anker
Right, okay.
SOLIX.
That's better. Put the second bit and we can roll through with the tongue. So here we go. System's going fully in. Obviously, it's smart connected as well, is it? How do I communicate with it when I walk past it?
So basically, it's got an LCD screen display, which a lot of batteries on the market do at the moment have, but it's lit up 365 days a year. Defeats the object of going green. So ours is motion sensor. It only lights up as you walk past.
Okay.
It provides 3 forms of light. A white light, which basically for the wife who's not interested in battery storage.
So it detects a wife that's not
It
interested
can
in
detect
flashes
the
white.
wife
does it? Yeah, okay.
going to the tumble dryer in the garage. It can detect her saying, like, the battery is being stored up from the solar PV on a white light. A blue light is your time of use tariffs, such as Octopus. And then you have your red light, which allows for storm guard, rapid battery charging should there be any power cuts or planned,
So it
weather
knows.
conditions.
It knows.
So we have the AI intelligence over in America. It hasn't been integrated into Europe at the moment because we're still working on that. We, as a company, you see so many brands that just bring out so much of their product portfolio straight away, and then all you see is them trying to put out fires. So what we like to do, no pun intended on that. So what we tend to do is we like to bring out our firmware in stages. We want to make sure that the installer is educated. We don't call them installers, we actually call them ambassadors. They're a representation on our brand.
Okay.
Education's really massive for us. So yes, of course, you've got that fleet management portal where you can do your Anker Online Academy training. But for us, we look outside the box where we want to actually be at your first live on-site install.
Right, okay.
So very much like the accreditations where they come out to the first install or they attend an install.
Oh, you're
of yours.
500 notes as well, are you?
We are a little bit like that where we want to be on-site supporting those small questions, those big questions, giving the installer the reassurance. That doesn't happen in this industry.
Okay. Is that a paid service?
No, it's free.
Wow, good job you got that in. I'd thrown
Yeah, it's
500
right.
notes in there and you hadn't said anything. So the audience was thinking he's done 500 notes.
I know. We also when I came on board with this brand about 11 months ago, We wanted to change the narrative. I hate and cannot stand 0800 numbers, or a 17-year-old at the end of the phone who doesn't even know how to spell inverter or what an inverter actually is, or an email with a 72-hour ticket response. That to me isn't good customer service. We've sat in customer service globally as a brand at 99.2% for the last 5 years.
Oh, right, wow.
So how I changed it is we employ technical support managers that have been solar installers themselves, understand the peaks and the troughs, the ups and the downs of the on-site install, and especially when it gets to commissioning. They are MCS accredited, and they will go and attend live on-site installs. They will support and they will literally run their accounts. So installers, ambassadors will have dedicated account managers for technical support.
Wow, I've not heard that anywhere else. It could be out there, but I haven't heard that anywhere else. And if you're thinking of getting into this market, if we imagine it's a party, and that party, the solar party, starts at 9 o'clock this evening. And I want to know what part of the day we are. So we're talking about adoption of solar, battery and air source heat pumps, maybe EV as well. We'll throw EV in there. It feels like it's been around forever. Griff, you're the expert. The party starts at 9. What part of the day are we currently at?
Am I invited?
They'll do another one in the future for veterans.
And there'll be canapes.
All over the
Canapes will be offered.
I reckon we're about 3:05 in the morning.
Wow. So it hasn't even started.
Early days, right?
So we're
Early
still
days.
laying in bed, not bought the shirt that we're going to go into. You've probably lost another half a stone by the time you get to the party. You'll have to buy one size down. So anyone's watching this and thinking to themselves, right, okay, now all of a sudden we've decoupled you, we've taken away some arguments. You don't need MCS, okay? You've got your own credit scheme. You think to yourself, it's the most beautiful, it's probably an easy sell, the Anker SOLIX. Yes, really easy sell.
Yeah, it's an easy sell.
It is, because it looks beautiful and it's incredibly slim. So
I think it's
got one of those features.
The history.
And all of a sudden then, you're going to send someone out that knows this stuff and become an ambassador. They're going to be on site solving those little problems that I might have on that first little install.
100%.
Wow, that seems too good to be true. And you're charging how much, 500 quid to say?
Nothing.
Nothing. Good job. You got it in quicker this time.
There is zero money in customer service.
There is a link in the description if you're really excited about Anker. Please check it out. Griff's training's in there as well. So I think the two go hand and foot together. Take the training from the best in the country and install somebody who's going to give you awesome product support. I think that is a beautiful, beautiful story. But what isn't a beautiful story is what we're going to look at next, which is your race wall. Okay, so that's where we're going now. Aaron Carr took it on. Electrical background, just give us that.
Zero. I mean, sales, I'm up there, but zero in terms of physically picking up a screwdriver. I've just had my whole house rewired.
Many tools in your hand in the past?
Not really any, no.
Okay, all right.
No.
Okay. We got away with that one, didn't we?
Yeah.
Unless one of us missed it, okay. And you have to revisit your own jokes. It is a struggle. I think we're going to give you about, how long do you reckon, Joe?
What, for what?
The
How
bit
long
where
it's
we asked for the
taken me?
time.
Well, we're going to give everyone who's watching a minute to get their times in, and it's even easy tonight because they only need to say Aaron, and did he do it in 2 minutes and 54 seconds? Because I know what board Aaron wants to be on.
Yeah.
Has he done it in half a year? Who knows? Get you a minute to get your times in.
So Aaron Carr, so if you want to put Aaron Carr and his time into the chat, we'll see what it's done. What did you do it last time in Griff? Can you remember? You were pretty rapid.
It was about 2 minutes, 15 seconds, I think.
It wasn't Griff, it was
3:51.
That's how I remember it. Exactly how I remember it.
3:51. Does that make you the fastest person ever to attend a JPEL 64 meeting?
I think at the moment it does, yes.
It does. Are you the fastest person on the wall to lose 6.5 stone in a year?
I couldn't possibly comment.
Well, you are, so unless you can do it.
No, well, I'm still the fastest person in this room on the fat jab. In fact, actually, just on the fat jab. I'm the fastest.
He's presuming. He's presuming. He's being a bit up himself here, because you've still got your time to go. And he's already said that he thinks he's fast enough. I think we're going to have the last laugh here.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah, we're going to have the last laugh. So the
let's
time is
roll
right
it.
now. I think, first of all, though, we've got to work out whether you had our tools in your hand or somebody else's tools in your hand.
I had...
No, they don't say.
Sorry. Okay, sorry, I didn't realise. There's another bombshell. I can't keep up. Okay.
Let's play the VT.
So it's that time before the race where we're going to find if our guest has Kleined or declined, and we've got a gorgeous smelling guest on today. It's such a shame you can't sniff Aaron here.
Hello.
Aaron,
Hello.
did you Klein or decline?
I Klein.
And how did you find them?
What, the wiring?
Well,
Or the
we're
perfume.
talking about the tools. No, I'm loving the
Actually,
perfume.
I liked the tools.
Yeah.
They had a good grip.
They did.
Yeah. No, I think it'd be interesting to see what my time is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you took this quite competitively. Okay, you were begging Gary to tell you what the time was.
true.
You were begging for which side of the leaderboard you were on.
100%.
Yeah, and now it's just about time to find out.
We'll find out.
So we've got an incredibly limited number of staff members here. Actually, Griff's here. Hello, Griff.
Is there?
Sorry again. Rick's actually come in on his day off as well to take the free Mastab meal for anyone to see. There he was, cameraman. And he's joined us tonight in here as well. But we're lighter staff, so actually we were semi-involved in the runs, weren't we? So, however, I haven't got a clue what the edit looks like, and I certainly don't know what the last time you got was. So I know the first two, and I didn't see the third one because I was actually stripping down the rig. Let's play your first attempt, which is historically average, and then we'll see what time you get. Defend yourself at all times, Aaron Carr, because I'm going in. Here we go. You've got the same clothes on. First person in a long time that's come along and not changed into something more professional. So we got to see the legs earlier on, and today is what we got. Haircut looks nice. Was it neatly done?
It was just done before the Siegen Roadshow.
Okay, brilliant. So yeah, we got So I told you to pull it out long, and then you mastered
Taped
this
it up.
eventually, didn't you?
Yeah,
We did.
Oh,
Yeah,
draw cord.
Yeah, no. So he's back in. Well, we did give a little bit of verbal encouragement.
Yes, you
you
did.
also gave a few words that were
Yes,
not allowed.
I
on
looped up quite
TV,
well.
right? Yeah, look at first time.
Yeah.
First time this one. You whip round there.
Savage.
Yeah, absolutely. Little bit of leg moisturiser looks like it's been on the back of them
It
calves.
definitely was. Charlotte Tilbury.
Into the
Okay,
actual,
so then,
into
yeah,
the
yes.
actual consumer unit. Choice of tools now. We had to go with a bit of everything, didn't we? Look, now you did
Yeah,
three
right, okay.
stroke four there, and the old
Yeah.
wrists weren't as strong as they've been in
No.
the past. You suggested your wrists were a lot stronger when you were in your teenage years, which I thought was. I don't know where we got that one from, but that was suggested. Now, full Ramo, and those trainers are amazing. And where do we get them from?
Christian Louboutin.
Yeah, are they 50
Everyone
quid
said
each?
this season, over 1,000.
Over is that each or the pair?
Just the pair.
Okay.
That's all right.
My wife once came over and she said, I've just bought a new set of boots,
Lucky
80 quid. I said,
number
oh, that's not too much. She went
13.
each. I was like, oh, dear.
no, I'm just-
So the £1,000.
They're on sale though.
I would suggest a little bit of copper showing there, but it doesn't matter as long as it gets in there. So you're in. And the screwdriver technique was a bit average at
Down.
times. So you
Need to
stood
get
on
some more
it.
wire.
The pair, as we're going to call this now, the car,
Now
is
I
to
have
sit on it.
Yeah, I
You've
love
done a car.
Well, I think you've got to concentrate nicely.
Absolutely.
Sit down.
Yep, so you're fully in front of it. Okay, and we're doing
Time. I like-
what we call the Ramo and the seat. We're going to call the car from using on now. So stripping these tools good, isn't it? You got, considering you've got no electrical
Yeah.
knowledge, you
None.
mastered that by the end. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Short fly lead, and then we're done. I think this looks a really good edit. Okay, because when we were living through it, it was horrendous. Yeah, this was a long, drawn-out process. Now, it doesn't mean that Aaron hasn't got quicker as gone through. Obviously, he couldn't get any slower because he was, I think.
It was the end.
Yes, you went back because a conductor fell out, didn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, what colour is the
Resting
neutral?
on the knee as well. That's a really good tip.
Yeah, it is a really good
for
tip.
any electricians out there that
Yeah.
need some support.
Yeah, and they're quite wide, those knees. You get it
Yeah,
flat on there, can't you?
100%.
Yeah, they're big legs.
Won't be with Manjaro.
No, stone in a month. Yeah, so the 3 more months we'll see you. Okay, and we're going to make these final connections. Which one's the neutral again? Just remind me what colour?
Right. Okay. Blue.
Is that your final answer?
That is my absolute final answer.
Well, right this time. Okay, so
Yeah.
on
I
the
did
side-
have you had to keep correcting me.
Oh, screws falling
This
out.
is what
Oh, no, disaster.
No.
Conductors has come out.
And it's a CPC, so it's
There it is.
fold out. It's fold
Can you
out.
believe it?
Oh dear. What's the blue band on your arm? Just tell us that one. What's that one?
Siegen Roadshow.
Oh, right,
Yeah,
yeah,
I've
okay.
just not taken it off. I have had a wash. Don't worry.
Oh, was that to beep you in and out?
This
Was
was this was to beep in and out my lodge.
Okay. Oh, yeah, it's a
I
bit
had to
centre
share
parts,
with
isn't
a
it? It's
few
a centre parts one, isn't it?
randoms. Yeah.
Oh, did
That's
you? I bet that was a
another
laugh.
story.
Wasn't it? Yeah, I bet it was a laugh.
Clenergy.
Here we go then. So that's all done and dusted. So that was possibly the most amount of fun
We've had doing.
Yeah, it was great. It was hilarious, and some of the words we had to cut out were brilliant, folks.
Yeah.
But it does mean, am I doing it or are you doing it?
No, you're.
Oh, God, I've never done it. Have I ever done it before? So we're going to go and get the time. Okay, so Griff, we know where you are.
Yep.
You're up here, 3:51.
I actually noticed that same as Mr. Cranis. So
But you're above him. You're above
I'm
him.
above him.
Yeah, you're above him. So, first of all, Aaron,
Okay.
whopping leaderboard, Griff, writes books for a living. Did you get beat by an author? Do you think you're faster than Griff?
I don't think I'm faster than Griff.
So you think a publisher's going to be...
He's got a wealth of experience.
Yeah, he's got a lot of years behind him, hasn't he?
Yeah, and he's northerner, so they've got more grit about them.
Okay, yeah.
You
Which
know?
part of northerner are you?
Which part of me is northern?
No, which part of the northerner are you?
North Yorkshire.
So Lancashire's the same difference.
Oh, it's a war start, lad.
Is it?
It's a war start, that.
Dear me.
Hey, grab a rose.
Right, okay, so Aaron, give us a time. What do you think you might have done it in?
I mean, all I want to be is on that board.
Okay, let's get back in my room now.
So, I mean...
5:15. That was done by Will Winter, okay? He knows
got a
nothing
feeling
electrically,
I'm in
so
the
I don't know
sixes.
whether... He's not an electrician, so...
I think I might be in the 6s or the 7s.
Okay.
If I'm in the 5s, I mean...
What will you do?
I don't know.
Oh,
I might sing.
what's your favourite song?
You can't.
Don't say Happy Birthday.
You can't beat Robbie Williams' Angels.
Oh, well, we're going to see how you beat it up in a minute, I think.
Right,
so
we're
we are
moving
on this
over.
board, okay?
Yep.
Your first time would have sat you between Gary and Carl. That was where you
Jesus.
sat on the first run.
Okay.
That's the one I saw, okay?
Right.
You got better.
Thank you.
Then you would have sat yourself in here around about Vienna's territory, so you've done it as fast as a girl of 12 years old with one hand.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so
Nailed it.
Yeah, nailed it.
Yeah.
Okay. You said you would like it in a time that starts with a 5.
Yeah.
It starts with
It's got to be a 6 or a 7.
a 5.
Oh,
Hey.
fabulous.
Well saved.
Fabulous.
And well corrected twice.
Okay.
Okay,
So
but
now, can I be near anyone near that are actual electricians?
let's have a look. No.
Okay. So who else am I against then? or
Well,
am I-
these people have never seen a tool before
Okay.
in their life. Okay, so
Okay.
we're going for. We are going to be in this. We're going to have to move these up, unfortunately. So
Right.
that's not a good thing, by the way, because obviously that means
Are you moving all of them up?
I've got to move a lot up. Yeah.
Oh, for
yeah. I don't know whether I'm going to have enough room. So there we go. Where's that one? That one slides in there. Okay, and let's bring that one down. You did it in 5 minutes and 50
Oh, I'm quite
seconds.
happy with that.
One sec, I've nuffed that up because these are all out of order.
Yeah,
aren't they?
so you
hang on,
need
let's
to
get
move
this
them
one.
up.
Come on, nuff that.
Very
up.
happy with
You
that.
should be very happy with
5
that.
minutes and 50.
It's done me in there on the board.
Well, if
thank you.
anyone wants a rewind,
I'll put you above Tom as
just
well.
give
There
me
you
a
go.
call.
Well done. That is a very respectable Tom. That's only
Okay.
recently come off the main board.
I
So
can
well
deal
done.
with
Let's
that.
give him a round of applause, folks.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
I've got you a large, but if you need a medium and you've had them jabs for a
When I
month or
next
two,
come back,
yeah, you'll
it'll
have
be
to
an
come
extra
back. Yeah.
small. You know?
What's the size of the
Thank
one we
you.
gave you?
Oh,
Double XL?
XLFB.
Yeah, I bet it was. We won't say what that stands for either. Been great fun. That was a great time. Okay,
I enjoyed
I know
it.
it's on that
Great
board.
time.
Obviously, that board now is looking at real installer territory. There won't be many more dropping off that before you
Okay.
have to be a contractor and less than electrician 7 days a week.
I'm going to study.
yeah, you ought to.
And it was a fabulous time.
It was a fabulous
Yeah.
time. So now we're going to look to drop some more bombs as we go through. Okay, so
do any
we're
more.
going to
I'm
drop
about
some.
bombed out.
No, we're going to drop some more bombs as we go through. Okay, is what we're going to do next. So the issues I've got now is that when I was over at Intersolar, we spent
Yeah.
some time together. It was a good laugh, wasn't it? Okay, we came over to see your stand. You blew me away with stuff that I was a bit angry when I left because I was told I couldn't have it.
No, I know.
Okay, and us in the Great Britain, great's in there for a reason because we're not. Okay, so we couldn't have it. What are you selling a huge amount of to the Germans?
It's not even just to the Germans, it's to Europe. We have a solar bank balcony storage, and we have 3 different ones, and we've just literally announced 2 months ago, just before Intersolar, the Solar Bank 3.
Okay, so just for those who don't know what balcony solar is, let's bring in a little video clip that I took walking back after a few alcoholic beverages at the Intersolar show. So this is what we're seeing on properties and we're in Germany at this time.
Yep.
Very popular. So they're solar panels hung on the side of a balcony, making it balcony solar. I know it's as obvious as it says. And there's probably a different one in a minute when we come to the next one, just a different style. That's closer up, so you can clearly see they're just hung on. Anyone can do that. They're not
Yep.
attached in any other way.
No.
There may be some issues, and I'll go through those in a minute in order to suggest whether you can or can't do that in Germany. So that's a nice looking array to me. Okay, that's fine. And of course, you can hang your clothes on the back side of it if you need to. Got a bit of bunting there, so obviously there's
Lovely bunting.
Loves a party.
I would suggest they missed a trick there. That's a bit like my roof. I reckon you could have squeezed another one on there, Griff. I think they mugged themselves off with that small one as we come through. So we're now in that position where all of a sudden, and I don't like these words, but let's do it. If you are maybe, we've got a winner on the GT. So if you are maybe means slightly less than some people. It doesn't work in major cities, but you might find yourself with no pathway. Okay, so you can't have an EV charger. Maybe you've got a poorly insulated home.
Yeah.
Okay, so no off-road parking, and then you might have a small roof, or you might be in a building that has no garden.
Yeah.
Okay, and no roof, but you've got that small balcony.
Yeah.
You're always being penalised and being energy poor. Now, our people, and we've looked at it in Germany, but our people in Europe have suggested, I don't want that story to continue, do they?
No, I think the thing is that the brand ethos for Anker SOLIX is we really actually want to do energy independence for everyone. And I think everyone's known that traditional solar install up on the roof, or a large ground-mounted system if you've got land, and then your battery like the X1. So we have launched 3 series of the SB, Solar Bank, and we've now launched Solar Bank 3. We've actually been voted as the world's #1 in balcony storage, and that's for our constant innovation. Now, when we first launched the Solar Bank 2, we actually launched it with 9.6 kilowatt hours worth of battery storage.
Okay, that seems a lot when I do my next bit.
It seems a lot.
It is a lot.
It isn't in Europe. That's not a lot in Europe. That's sort of the typical average 10 kilowatt hour system in the UK.
For balcony solar.
For residential, but for balcony solar, 9.6 actually isn't a lot.
Okay, well, let's unpack that, because I've got some stats down here from Germany.
Yeah.
Okay, if you want to chip in at any point, you can. Can you remember how many kilowatts in the old system that we could actually import into the house? Can you remember that number?
No.
Okay, so 600 watts. And
That was it, yes. Oh, and yes.
And they changed it.
To 800.
Yeah,
Yes.
they did. So in 2024, they changed it up to a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, they've obviously had to go over some regulatory things over in Germany. If I use Germany as a classic example.
Yeah.
So you've just told me we can have 9.6 kilowatt hours of storage,
Well,
and I can only
that was the old one,
I can only
yeah.
push it back at 800 watts into a final circuit. Now, I take it they plug it into a Schuko socket over there, do they?
Yes.
So if we were here, 13 amp plug straight into there, solar on the actual balcony, into an inverter, straight into the socket, 800 watts. Everyone's a winner, baby, that's for sure. Now, if you're out all day, looking at my latency load, 200 or 300 watts probably, maybe in a flat, it might be slightly less. You could actually start to get a reasonable charge, maybe when you get back, because you can only pump 800 watts. And you might have a continuous 800 watts back into your installation when you're back into the actual apartment itself, which is great, which I love. However, they've also said that, obviously, to be a little bit safer, if we bring the drawing up, a little bit safer, we have to have a specially designed plug and socket arrangement. So there we are on the left-hand side, our solar array that sits on a balcony, into, obviously, our Anker inverter. So we're going only a short piece of DC, and then we're AC as we go across. And then we've got a special plug there in order that we go in. I'll need to find this one. So this is a special plug. Can you remember? It's a Wieland plug and socket arrangement down the far right-hand side.
Yeah.
It still goes into a Schuko, but there is a special adapter between it.
Yes.
And that's going to come back and bite us, I would imagine, in a few minutes. Okay, that's their arrangement. But you could just plug it straight in.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's just do it. What are we not doing this?
What we noticed is it was like we started off with we've started off for our SB2, which was 9.6 kilowatt hours capacity, and then we noticed as our brand was growing specifically in Germany and European regions, it wasn't cutting it in capacity. Like, people needed more storage. So then when we launched the Solar Bank 3, which you fell in love with, plug and play, really slick, quick design, IP65, smart screen display, we then thought to ourselves, let's try and up the stack in capacity. So we upped the stack to 16 kilowatt hours, right? Which again, is quite hefty. But then we thought, why don't we do a combiner box and be able to run them parallel? So again, with the 4 MPPTs that they have to each system, a low voltage startup, and then you can have 4 of these systems in configuration. You can then actually, in theory, upgrade to a 64.5 kilowatt hour system.
Okay, so back in the normal world, okay, I think this system works a treat with a smaller battery and a little bit of array. But let's go through what's brilliant about it.
Yeah.
I go to maybe a business that's open 7 days a week. They offer click and collect service, okay, and I walk into there and pick up my balcony solar and my inverter and go home. I can, but let's imagine I'm a normal person. I know it's going to be difficult for most people to do. I'm a normal person, and I've gone into a 7-day open shop. Even on Sundays, it's open. You can get many electrician out of a pickle because our wholesalers aren't. Click and collect service. I go in there and pick it up. I bang it on the side of my balcony. I just plug it in and away.
It's just literally done.
I've done that in Germany. I've done that. So I'm now saving energy from the second I buy it.
Yeah.
And what's brilliant about it with all solar systems, exactly the same. From the moment you've bought something, you've locked in your energy price at the moment you bought it. And I think that's beautiful.
Yeah.
No problems there. Now, they've even made the paperwork a lot easier, haven't they? So all of a sudden, you can go and do that. You could have the old ferrous, or was it an aluminium disc in our ones? The little wheel going round.
Wheels in the meter don't
Yeah.
always go round.
They might come around the other way, around the other way.
Northern shunt, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I want to know about Griff's wedge.
Yeah. Not tonight. Not tonight. Okay. So all of a sudden, even if you've got the wrong style of meter that would probably be affected by feed-in, it's not a problem. You've just got to obviously wait for a smart meter to come, and no doubt it'll be connected in Germany to these smart features that you can have. And they've made the paperwork considerably easier as well. I think it's an online form.
It's an online form, and also what we changed as well is we mixed it up, and we designed the SolarBank 3 with 3,600 watt solar input, but also with a 1,200 watt bi-directional inverter.
Ah.
Yeah.
So you can still charge your batteries.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, I like that.
Brilliant.
It is brilliant. Why don't we have it here?
I know.
Let's bring
Well,
it
I
in.
know.
Let's have
I
it.
know.
Please.
So it's we've got it integrated with Nordpool, which is massive over in Europe, and obviously that helps the dynamic pricing tariffs, the savings. So we've calculated the savings based from our SB2 to our SolarBank 3 of up to nearly €1,600 savings per year.
Right, okay.
Now, the thing is, we all know that I think installations over in the UK are a lot less in price as opposed to Europe. They're quite high in cost.
We need to put our prices up, that's what
Maybe
it's
so.
Yeah, put our prices up. Training's going up.
We genuinely do get a calling for it in the UK and Irish market, but it's the regulations.
No, we're going to get this over the line. This will be bombshell number 2, I reckon. I'm going to get this one over the line tonight. If only we had somebody incredibly technical that's maybe in
Who
with
could
the
that
government.
be?
Hi, Gary.
Hello, mate. Okay, so some of the problems you can have is maybe if you've got a restriction on your building.
Yes.
Maybe you've got to get landlord's permission. Okay, yeah, and things like, and maybe
leasehold, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know over there. Maybe if it's in architectural beauty, okay,
Yeah.
maybe you can't just sling it over the side of the actual balcony in order to do it. But let's just say our German friends have pushed this through because we want it.
Yes.
I want it. I want it for UK. You wanted a smart meter, then it's dumb. And you wanted paying when you had it, yeah? I now want a bit. You're going to do all the legwork. I'm just going to say it on the show and you'll do the legwork.
Oh, right, okay.
Okay, so
So consultancy rate kicks in now.
Yeah.
Go.
Getting the money out of me might be difficult, but I'll wait until the result. So I want it. I don't see why in the UK that we can't have this. So let's start off. Is it the problem because I'm plugging it into a ring final circuit? Is the circuit the problem?
Not necessarily, no.
Good. So that myth's gone. So most people would expect a dedicated circuit on the solar.
Yeah.
Okay, and we're used to that. That's what we wire. We haven't got that. So we can almost blow the myth away that as long as we've got a well-designed circuit, we should be fine.
It's got to be designed in accordance with how it's going to be used. That you know, like any electrical design, you've got to carefully look at that and understand that. But as you say, that's not the key issue.
Okay, now I'm going to blow the next one out of the water. Can you remember what the continuous current rating of a 13 amp plug top is, roughly in amperes?
It's about 7 amps, isn't it?
Yeah, it's that 7 amps. And is 800 watts, with your really bad maths, more than 7 amps?
No.
So the plug that goes into my BS1363 socket outlet is not going to be running too hot, even if it was sunny for 24 hours, Griff.
Yeah.
So that's not a problem, is it?
Well,
I feel like
No. Oh, that wasn't a well question. It was a no, Gary. It isn't.
For overcurrent, no.
The plug's not
That
going
should
to
be
hot.
rated for continuous use at that current level, yes.
Bombshell number 2, folks. Come into a retailer that offers
No.
click and collect service in 7 hours.
Well,
7 days,
maybe,
6
but
weeks?
no.
Right, okay. So hang on, I'll try and think of something else. It's IP65, so that's fine. So the inverter can sit outside. I can't see any problems with plugging it in.
I feel like we're blaming Griff
Yeah, it's
for
like
not having this
it's like
technology
all Griff's
in the
fault,
UK.
basically.
Griff's fault, because Griff's agreed with me so far. He hasn't said no. So at what point? He's saying at the minute the plug's all right.
Yep.
Ring final circuit's all right. I'm in.
Yep.
Griff, give me something to moan about, because you like a moan.
Think home-wired genset.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've all seen them where people have...
It's off the shelf. We're not doing any wiring. We're just plugging it in.
Yeah.
You plug your telly in at home.
Yeah.
Nobody's worried, are they? No one
almost
panics.
like you want to create a
They're not worried it's going to
utility
fall off the shelf
Yeah.
or off the wall or anything. You just plug it in.
But we're generating now. Right, so it's a generation.
Generating a picture, my telly is.
So, You're really clutching at
You just
straws
wanna go
tonight, Gary.
Currys, don't you? And buy your VHS and your balcony storage.
Just think about which way the power's flowing. And obviously, if I go to pull out that BS136...
Whoa, there's 2 shrouded live pins, young man.
There is.
So it's out. And it's
Yeah,
free.
but how quickly are you going to pull it out? And more importantly...
Well, that's a question for you, young man.
How
you pull it out the
quickly-
speed you need to pull it out in the situation you're stuck in.
how quickly is that voltage going to collapse to a safe level? Right, we've got to make sure that when those pins come out, that generator that's attached to the end of it isn't going to give rise to danger in someone's home.
So why are the Germans doing that? Because they've got uninsulated 2 pins and they pull it out of their Suco plug and there's no issues.
They've got an interlocked Wieland plug, not a Schuko plug.
No, you can use a Schuko one. It says you can.
They've got the Schuko, but they've got the Wieland adapter.
Oh, so you're going for half the story. So let's say we had that then. Are we in?
We're getting very close.
Yeah.
Getting very close.
So,
Yeah.
so new plug. So I need a new plug top.
We need a new means.
need a new plug.
We need a new means of connecting the two together.
We don't.
No?
Thought of it. Oh. Just bring my good friend here, the Stanic. Oh. So this is a socket outlet. Okay, this is the Stanic socket. Now, we love Michael. Michael's just won a chance to come to Ireland, and you'll see the rest of the people in this show that have got a ticket on the plane. Okay, I've had to ring him up to tell him that he's got that one, so you'll find out the rest of the people on that plane. So here, if I had this on the wall, I could plug in a 13 amp socket outlet. I could take the one from that retailer with the 7 days that they're open, including Sundays, cut the plug off and screw it into here, where I know this bad boy can do about 45 amps. I'm only going to feed 800 watts. I'll make my connection in there. Your problem's gone away.
You've now changed the complete characteristics of that circuit, though.
Yeah, but you can change a
now
like for
it's a
like
dis-
outlet.
you can change a like for
Similar
like.
outfit.
Yeah.
Like for similar outlets.
Like
are
for
allowed.
similar.
That's allowed as well.
Like for
That's a new
similar.
one. Like for similar.
Oh.
Check the regs. It's a paragraph you haven't read.
Is that new one in definitions? Like for similar.
Look for the asterisk, as I always say. It might be on the same page you're looking at. You'll find it somewhere. It'll say install a Stanic. I'm getting warm though. This
You're getting close.
is good.
It's better.
We'll take better. Thank you very much. Bang, number 2. We've got balcony solar. So you saying this isn't a solution?
No, because what we've now done is fundamentally changed the design characteristics of that electrical circuit. We've changed it from what's likely to be a final circuit to a distribution circuit, because we're now going to push that energy back up through that. And as a uneducated, non-electrical person, Gary,
Yes. I'm thinking of the person right now.
you probably shouldn't
the
be
telly,
doing
he's in the
that.
middle. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
there you go. Yeah, you probably shouldn't be doing that.
Okay, I agree with that, because all of a sudden we're asking them to make this, and if you would make an error in this connection and you're feeding back in, and this isn't very tight, we'll probably introduce more problems than we get. Now we can say that that customer knows how to use a screwdriver and all the rest of it, but of course we're now generating the opposite way round and we're interfering with the circuit. Ultimately, what would be the solution then to make sure that somebody can go and collect that from a well-known online store that also offers 7-day click and collect service?
And speedy delivery.
Do they do speedy
They
delivery?
do speedy delivery as well.
I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
okay,
They do
so-
speedy. Don't even have to drive down there. They drop off your balcony
to
solar,
you.
okay, with the speedy service.
Yeah. So basically what we need to ensure is that at any point when that plug is being withdrawn from the socket, that there's no danger to the person that's withdrawing that socket.
One hand behind the back. So what you want to do is you pull it
So-
out like that.
No
so it's
shoulders.
like that.
In a more commercial industrial environment, think about an interlocked socket.
Okay.
Yeah.
16 amp plug and socket that's interlocked. I have to switch it off before I can pull it out.
out.
Yeah.
But for your rules to apply, I can't change the socket. I've got to have the manufacturer send me an interlocking plug for 13 amps.
That's right.
Oh, I did that on my own. That wasn't in the script either. Because I'd have beat you on your one again, wouldn't I? We'd have been back to the Stanic. I'd have been back in the game, wouldn't I?
I mean, what
Sorry,
do you feel? Do you feel like there's a massive calling for it?
Yeah, I mean, I've been involved in some work over the last sort of 12 to 18 months at looking at this market from a technical perspective and from a legislative perspective.
That's easy for you to say.
Very late now, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
And there is big demand,
Yeah.
right? There's big demand in the world of policy, there's big demand in the world of consumer, But absolutely rightly, we've got some technical barriers that we've got to overcome.
Yeah.
Right? We've got to make sure that they're safe. And whether we like it or not, BS1363 plug top design doesn't lend itself to kind of adaptations. That's why most of the time, all of the solar installs we see are hardwired and fixed in place, quite rightly. So what we're looking for is a bit of innovation, a bit of tech out there that might enable us then to bridge that gap and have some sort of plug-in solar, or even just plug-in energy storage, right? Because some people in apartments might not have a balcony, so let's not rule those occupants out either.
Windowsill solar, love it. So you hang it out on your windowsill.
Solar.
It's going to be great.
New
Just can't wait, yeah. Windowsill. You
It's
can have that one as
getting
well. Go 50-50 on the dibs.
I'll see you into solar next year.
Yeah. I'll be standing by the windowsill.
Windowsill solar.
Yeah, I love it. So,
The Gary Sill.
absolutely love it. I'm all over it. That doesn't sound like no.
No, it doesn't. It's not. It's like anything in the industry. You know, we come across these technical challenges. We've got to make sure we put safety first. We've got to let people develop, get it out there, get it tested, and make sure that we can stay safe.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So government drive a lot of these, and we'll see later on what policies they are driving. What's their thinking? You've got an ear at the table. You must have. You got a seat in the Downing Street, and you're in there. You've slipped under the door like a breath of fresh air, like a breeze. Oh, it's just blowing in under the bottom of the door.
Slip through the crack of the door.
Yeah. Someone left that window half ajar.
Yeah.
You're in.
I went in through the back.
If you were speaking on behalf of the government, is it a 50-50 we're going to get this over the line? Are they less likely to want it over the line?
I think if we looked at let's say the whole sector, Gary, rather than just focusing on government, right? The whole sector, I think there's probably a 65-35 in favour of trying to make this work. Which is great for people who either can't
There's
afford.
a lot more in other European countries as well. That it's almost like Germany had the domino effect, and then other countries have then started to take on board, and we're doing really well in France, and then you've got Austria market, Switzerland, and it just has that domino. I think a lot of people tend to look at Germany and go, right, if they're doing it, we should be doing it. It just always feels like we're a little bit behind.
And that wasn't an easy market. That wasn't an easy market to tackle either. So we know with our European colleagues that there's a great deal of work done by our sort of counterpart German technical colleagues to try and get a solution to what the government wanted. And they've done it, right? They've come up with it. What we need to do now is to jump forwards and take a look and see, is there something we can do with our 1363 plug top and socket to make that safe, as well as looking at the design characteristics of the rest of the circuit.
I'd imagine one or two 3D printers have just gone and fired themselves up, and someone's out there going, well, I'm going to have a crack at this.
And so long as they're battery powered, that's fine.
Oh, okay. Well, they might be using their solar engines stored
Anker
overnight.
X1.
They are. They should be. Okay. That sounds really promising. I'll recommend that's one of the bombs. I think we've dropped a bomb that there is a great chance that we could be having balcony solar or window ledge solar or guttering solar, depending on what you've got. Guttering solar would be a good one. You can hang anything on a guttering.
Hang it off your guttering.
Now, what people are going to say, though, and you've got to go to London. Those high-rise residential are a few quid. They're not necessarily Rotherham, are they? Okay, so where maybe there is an issue. And people will say, won't they? So I go down Wembley Way quite a lot, and I look up and I see all kinds of balconies that could benefit from solar.
Yes.
That have currently got a bike, an aera, and a pot plant on it. So if anyone tells me that these look unsightly and they're saving our planet, I would suggest the aera, the bike, and the pot plant are worse. And there's nothing worse than walking down Wembley Way, looking up, and you're thinking, oh, they're drying their knickers. Yeah, that's what they're doing with their balcony, not generating any solar. There we go then. So I think that's a chance for us. I think within the next 18 months, we could all be popping down to, they do a delivery service. What's it called? Swifty Nifty or something? What's it called? What's the service they do?
I don't think it's Swifty Nifty.
Well, it should be. It's a great saying.
It's just
Speedy deliveries.
Speedy. If you need it in speed, we can deliver. Yes.
Speedy
okay.
delivery.
So we think that could well be a possibility. So I think bombshells dropped so far. You don't need a smart meter. Okay.
Yep.
Bang, you've gone. You don't need MCS. You don't need MCS. Bomb. And we think solar, balcony and solar, windowsill and solar, drainage is coming soon.
Yeah, solar seal.
And for me, I'm going to hang a couple on my old what's it called, fence.
Yeah.
I know they make fences, but I just put them on. I've got an outdoor socket, bang, I'm in. I reckon I can do it in 5 minutes.
You're done.
5 minutes. Once the delivery's gone, get it out of the box, 2 panels,
Yeah.
banging in. Another 800 watts. I'm on it. I love it. Oh, folks, comments now. So we're going to have a look now. Joe, you've been going through the comments.
Yeah, no, I've been having a really good look. So this one stood out to me. Griff, apparently you look a lot like the hologram Doctor on Star Trek Voyager.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know.
Comparison never been made.
Were they male or female?
Just
or
look into that camera over there, Griff.
yeah,
So don't know. Has anyone ever seen the film Philadelphia? Okay, the end scene with Tom Hanks. We all remember that scene. This is what we've got to, that we're currently doing the end scene of
Is
Philadelphia.
there going to be like a before and after? Go back.
I'm not good.
I've still got a few
You've got a
pounds
beard
to
as
go.
well.
A few pounds, yeah.
But that's a few ounces. You'll lose that in the end when he's trying to
That's
get
the
that
glory,
drinks
isn't
down.
it? Just,
Right, so no, back to Aaron is coming with a good one. So that they're now MCS now, but Aaron went as far as complaining to the Minister for the Department of Energy Efficiency, and even they came back saying it's up to the supplier. So just reinforcing, Griff, what you're saying.
Just clarifying that though, that it really isn't up to the supplier. We've got to be really clear about this.
Okay.
The statutory instrument sets out what's required. The suppliers are obliged under their licence to follow that.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, I've got a good question here from a Josh King. Hi, Griff. Josh here at GenSource. We're often asked to help people without an MCS. We don't believe we can provide them an MCS or EIC, so we offer them an EICR. Is that good enough?
Wow. That's something I hadn't thought about just yet. So,
Great question, Josh.
yeah, so what we're looking at now is
He's off. He's off.
people being sold solar. Perhaps the installer goes bankrupt, goes into liquidation. It happens a lot, right? We're seeing an awful lot of it here. A lot of people left high and dry. Do you know what? An EICR, if they're a member of a scheme that certifies them for that activity, so there's membership schemes out there that are certifying people that is a 17065 certification for EICRs, that's a really interesting question. Now, I think on the face of it, there's a likelihood that that might be possible, but I've not read into it, I've not tested it, but a really, really good question, really interesting one.
I think that's bomb 4.
Yeah.
I think if you can be registered with them and not MCS, I can't see why you can't carry out an EICR. I don't see how that's going to be different. There's no way they're going to twist that rules.
Feel it needs a test.
I think it needs a test. I think
But
folks
your
can
house.
just drop bomb number 4. I think there's a way around it now. Yeah, so you don't have to be. Yeah, oh, good. I like that one.
It's not a way round, Gary. It's
No,
just
it's
being
the truth.
compliant.
No,
It's just being compliant.
By being compliant, you've got a way around it. But and people are sitting out there thinking I'll be MCS registered. They haven't. Carry on.
So there's some great comments in here. So Antonio from ALO Electrical, he's always thought that the future is plug and play removable storage. But in contrast to that, which I think is quite interesting, this is from Sandy McNair. Just what we need in the UK. Loads of batteries in high-level residential. What could possibly go wrong? Now, I think that's a really... Because the safety around batteries now is just so great now, isn't there?
Yeah, well, we've done a video and we discussed it over dinner, didn't we? Where we were talking about it. Now, we can't really tell you too much of what we did, but we took a battery, probably one of, I don't know, a cheaper branded battery, because obviously we were going to destroy it. And we put it through some horrific things, didn't we? Yeah. Didn't we put
There's some very high quality controlled tests, Gary.
Yeah, it was in your garden. Yeah. You might have a large garden, but it's still in your garden.
It's still in the garden. Yeah, 4 acres of it, but yes.
And we spent some time with blowtorches, with drills, with the case off, BMS removed, and every single safety feature removed. And we got some very interesting results.
Very
folks.
interesting.
And when that video comes out, I think you'll watch that and think, okay, I think the problem is people give so much respect to the gas boiler.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
That's highly flammable liquid.
There's a real naivety to batteries.
Gas
and
rings
how
on an
safe
oven
they are
that you
now.
used to be able to leave on even though they weren't on. I've only just got one that can't be lit and they're still lit. So I think, again, I don't think they're quite as dangerous as we think. And the beauty of having it on balcony solar, you have a problem, you lob it over the edge and it hits the floor at the bottom.
Our systems also, what they will do is, if there was, say, one of the battery packs, battery modules, and there was an abnormality, it would shut down. So it would bypass in the meantime as well. That's a massive thing that we did in terms of security and safety for the X1. there's 0 voltage shock risk. So if there was a loose connection, you're not going to be affected.
Yeah. A question here for you, Aaron. So Aaron, if you have a 20 amp, 2.5 millimetre radial, and you whack another 4 amps in potentially near the start of the circuit, so the load is downstream, it now has 24 amps of current available. Is that right?
That's the spirit.
That's
the spirit.
That's from a Retro Z Machine.
That's his real name as well.
Well, actually, I might need some support from Griff, because I am the beauty and not the brains on this.
I think what we said earlier on, we talked about design of the circuit.
Absolutely.
Yes, okay, and it comes straight back to that. So if
the whole project.
If you've got that as a scenario, you've already answered your own question. You've said that I've looked at this and that and the other, and therefore that scenario.
I can just highlight though, we should be doing that with lots of stuff we're plugging in already, right?
Yeah.
So this is no different. We've just got to get people to think differently. Loads of people out there, as we know from a video you did a few weeks ago, live stream, got heat pump tumble dryers.
Right.
They're just plugging them in, blinding that RCD at the front of the circuit, and this is no different. We've got to get that design right.
Yeah.
And what I like about that is actually you're helping the problem if it was drawing 25 amps by putting the current back in, not causing it a problem. You're actually bringing the current down. So again, it comes back to design, it comes back to knowledge, but we're learning on the job. RCD's been a great example from a couple of streams ago. Until we've got the technology and we move the technology forward, sometimes we don't realise. Back in the day, this is one of my favourite ones, we have a nice metallic building, maybe a commercial big car park.
Yeah.
A Rolex charger. That was the one of choice.
That was the
we
one.
screw it to the wall and then we drive an earth rod in millimetres away from the steel frame. Just driving in, just driving leisurely.
Drive your stakes in.
Just leisurely, okay. And it was millimetres away from the effectively earth electrode, which was the steel building, and we all thought it was great. We didn't see a problem in it, but
think
then
about it.
Yeah, we didn't think about it. You know, foundation earthing was another classic, and all the rest of it. And go for it.
I thought about it, right? I thought about it.
Yeah, okay. There's lots of people on installs that didn't think about it.
Yeah.
So, but again, how quickly can that knowledge get out there? You suggested that maybe a few more contractors are now looking at different types of protection for heat pumps off camera. Can you tell us that story, that you found out that a number of people have now decided to switch protections?
Yeah, that's right. So after the stream, I think about 3 streams ago, I've been talking to a lot of contractors in the heat pump world. Obviously, Heatley's very prominent in that space as the design software there. And loads of people have suddenly sat up and realised, actually, yeah, I've gone back to the manufacturer. I've checked for their design-specific information, and now I'm fitting a particular brand of... Even some crew members are doing that, and now I'm fitting a very specific brand of device to make sure that it doesn't get blinded.
Right, bring him in because he's on site at the minute. So get him a mic. So Rick's on site doing what we've asked him to do, which is get that on-site knowledge. You can't become an electrician unless you do it every day, and you certainly can't become an electrician working alongside me recording you with an iPhone. So there you are. So look at that, I've got the dartboard. I'm trying to get nothing else in. We want a sponsored dartboard. If anyone's watching that has dartboards, we'd like a sponsored dartboard. So what have you been up to today?
Today I've just been, chasing walls out and running cables.
Lovely, that's what I wanted to hear. When are you working on the heat pump?
Tomorrow.
And what sort of overcurrent protection are you installing?
There's going to be a Type B Hager HP, the half-price one.
Right, now is it your cousin you're working for?
It is, yeah.
Now, is he the sort of bloke that would have known that information because he'd gone out and researched it, or did he find it from a different source?
Well, he told me he already knew, didn't he?
Did he?
Of course he did.
He says that a lot, doesn't he?
It just happened to be that we were shooting that video, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, we were.
4 nights ago. 4 weeks ago. And now he's going to get one of them.
OK, brilliant. Hi, Joe. Busy day it's been, isn't it? It's been a busy day, and we've had a lot on it. 3 of us.
Busy, yeah.
People turn up at the end, don't they? Come for the curry and things like that, and come for the glory moment. Yeah, it's good.
If people want to see the Anker, was it PowerBank 3?
Yes.
We've got the video.
Yeah, we're going to see it next year. Next year. Play that video while I get to my chair. Oh, there we go.
Balcony solar is the mega trend sweeping across Germany, a simple plug-and-play solution made possible by Anker, the market leader in balcony solar. It allows everyone to take part in the renewable energy revolution. Just add a solar inverter, battery storage, and a few panels to start saving on your energy bills. With the new Anker SolarBank 3 Pro, DIY solar power is smarter and more accessible than ever. Anker continues to push the boundaries with scalable storage solutions and new ways to increase solar generation and power output. Balcony solar is driving Germany's energy transition with over 1.4 million systems already installed. And now it's compatible with flexible energy tariff that help you save even more. Lower bills, smarter storage, greater independence. Isn't this something more countries in Europe should be adopting? Share your thoughts in the comments. Have you used balcony solar, or are you
Shelley on there?
Yeah, that's the next project, yeah.
Shelley?
Shelley who?
Shelley who?
Shelley you.
Yeah, your mic was on for that, so yeah, you're going to have to backtrack on that one. I've never heard of it. So, questions? Got any more great questions coming in?
Yes, so the answer to the money question was 780,000, so I think that was a month, wasn't it?
That was a month just for solar.
Yeah.
Just for solar.
Thanks, Craig Brookert, for coming in with that one. It really, really is.
Keeping on money?
Stephen MA, can this non-MCS certification apply to the heat pump bus 7.5 grant scheme?
Oh, I think that's a slightly bigger challenge. There's lots of consultations out. In fact, the one that would drive that has actually closed today, or is going to close at midnight today. So there was a consultation out about whether or not MCS should be the only certification body. So we know others are in the market already, such as FlexiOrb and their certify schemes. But the government went out to consultation a few weeks ago to ask, should that for bus, anyway, should that be the only scheme? So we'll wait and see.
Okay. Interesting. A couple more. So, Event Lighting Sound and AV Limited, they've just had their invoice in this morning from MCS, 1,182 for assessment and member fee. So I would say they're grateful that that's an invoice and not a receipt.
I would say there's a cut to be had somewhere.
So yeah, Event Lighting Sound and AV Limited, you're welcome. And finally, so this one from Nick Earlham, how do we get involved with Anker products, Aaron?
So with the Anker SOLIX X1, you can go onto our website, which is ankersolix.com. I think it's down below.
We've got it in the description.
And then basically you would sign up to become an ambassador. We will then put you through the Anker Academy training. Once that's complete, I reach out to you directly or someone from my team, where we then assign you up to a technical account manager. Where you buy the product from is we are really specific with the distributors and partners we work with. So we have Seagen UK and Seagen Ireland, also Western Solar in Ireland and Calidus Wholesale in the UK. You will not be able to find our pricing at all on the X1 online, because we like to protect the margins for the installer.
Ooh, that's a first, isn't it? Rather than splashing it all around, you give them a bit of... So, you know, you help them, you train them, and you help their prices.
We also give them a rebate every quarter, but you have to call me up for that one.
Oh, and you get to speak to you. I like that bit. I would have been calling in a minute.
I'm going to be an ambassador.
Will I get your number?
Yeah, you've got my number.
I rang you today.
It's in the comments now.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So, a lot to unpack there, again, and it's really nice that people are in there now challenging what you've suggested, hopefully understanding the product proposition that you give at Anker. So there's plenty out there. Balcony solar should be coming at some point, gives everyone a chance. I know people are saying, well, that's not an electrician thing, but we should all benefit from the fact that we're trying to go green and net zero. And if the race to that means that other people have a chance to dip in, I think it's great. Now, talking of dipping in, I think it's time for us to announce the other 9 winners of the Robust trip, and it's not with you this year, is it?
Nope.
And it's not with Rick, because he got benched last year because he didn't get up. So because his phone didn't ring, he was a shoo-in up until that morning. He didn't get up. I'm taking Gordon with me this time, so it's going to be a right laugh. No, winner. We've got a winner. It's that time where you get a chance to win a ticket on a plane to come to Ireland with me and you. Yes. And I think we're bringing Gordon along this time as well. So I'm going to try and read these names out, and I'm going to start with someone I know is in the room. Okay. Really? Yes, I caught him out the corner of my eye, and I'm going to go with Antonio Abornio. So Antonio's with us, so in you come. So you've won a ticket on the plane, one of the 10. So what's it going to be like to go over to Robust to see their innovation centre, sample a bit of black stuff and enjoy a musical evening?
Amazing. I haven't been on a plane in like 5 years, so it's going to be awesome.
So Darren Miziak, you've got the second ticket on our plane. Suki Booth, I would imagine that's a young lady, she's got a ticket on the plane. Blake Moore, she's got a ticket on the plane. Reece Jones has got a ticket on a plane. Jonah Lee has got a ticket on a plane. Steve Skillen's got a ticket on a plane. Also, Michael Gavahan, he's got a ticket on a plane. Matthew Odell, and we've got the final person, the 10th person to win a ticket on a plane is Chris Barnes. No, winner. We've got a winner. Rosie, you're also coming with me and Big John Ford, the Robust factory on the 16th and 17th.
Yeah, that'll be great.
It was brilliant last year, hence I've tried to go again this year. I've nailed myself for a ticket, which is fantastic. Well done for those people who've won. You will be contacted by Robus, hopefully within the next 11 days. I've sent them all your details, all your phone numbers and all your email addresses. So if you have picked that up tonight and you've won, congratulations. And hopefully we'll all be on the plane going to Ireland for a right ripping laugh. So it should be good. Now, talking of having a right ripping laugh.
On the plane.
You've had a lot of weight loss that we've mentioned this evening. And then you decided to challenge your weight against gravity by throwing yourself out of a plane without a parachute because you thought you'd lost enough weight to react like a feather and float down to the greater mass of Earth.
Like a gliding squirrel.
Yeah, in very similarities to your understanding of the regulations, you nearly got every part of that right.
Which bit did I miss?
The parachute bit, the really important bit.
Right,
Yeah.
It's a shame because it would have been equally as fun to see the photograph when you landed, wouldn't it, at this stage? Let's show you presenter Griff, who would have been on tonight. Okay. So let's see, yep, there you are. Wow, look at that. Locked and loaded. Did you have a camera on any part of your body when you jumped out?
No.
Oh, right, no body cam or anything like that? No body to strap it to, that was a
No, I see.
Yes, okay. Oh, look at this. I bet you didn't buy it. Oh, no, you were looking at a consumer unit. Look at the terrible wiring up there.
I thought what I need to do is get a selfie. I've got a big shout out to Black Knights Skydiving, just south of Lancaster, supported us really well. Me and my daughter did a jump recently with them, but also knowing I was coming on, we thought we'd just have a look at that modular and portable building and see what we could say about that.
That's good. Okay. Did you buy any merch?
No.
So you were sporting them with a photograph?
Gary, I've just plugged them, so I'm hoping I'll get some merch now. I don't need to buy it, right?
We're an hour and 35 minutes into a live stream. Let's get the plug in really early. See if we can get some free merch. We'll tell them to watch it, and when the plug comes in, they'll be chuffed, won't they? Okay, so that's it. So we've given away, but there's still a chance you might be watching this and thinking, I didn't win the GT time. Who won the GT time? Shout it out.
Josh the Spark.
Josh the Spark. Is that a new winner? So new winner, Josh the Spark. Hopefully, Jenny's on holiday at the minute, so if you get round to another fortnight and you haven't received any, please leave a comment. It's because we've forgotten. Okay, there's no other reasons.
Yeah, no other reason.
But you want to win something else. What else can you win?
You could win tickets to Oasis.
Well read. You got that.
There we are, yes.
And who's going to give those tickets away?
Schneider.
Let's play the pro.
Listen up, Sparkies. Don't look back in anger because this is your shot for a VIP night to remember. Schneider Electric is giving you a wonderwall of a prize. Exclusive tickets to see Oasis live at Wembley Stadium on the 2nd of August 2025. All you've got to do is roll with it. Spend £250 excluding VAT on Schneider products at participating wholesalers between the 7th of April and the 30th of June. You'll get a competition ticket with a unique code, scan it, enter online and boom! Each £250 equals one entry up to 10 shots at Glory. What's the story? First prize, a pair of Oasis tickets plus hospitality benefits and a £50 Uber ride. Second and third prize, £250 Ticketmaster vouchers. Fourth and fifth prize, £100 Ticketmaster vouchers. And 6th to 10th prize, worth £50 of Apple Music e-gifts. If you want to be entered into both prize draws, make sure you enter by the 31st of May. The first draw will be done on the 3rd of June. But stop crying your heart out. There's another draw coming on the 3rd of July. So don't let this slide away. Head to What's the Story for all the info. You could be singing Champagne Supernova with your best mates on Schneider's tab.
There's always a barrier. So I want to get involved. It's this, it's that, it's going to cost me this. Well, I've just saved you the MCS. Don't bother spending your £1,000 odd. By all means, send a parcel. I've had 2 parcels in this week. I had one for Liberato, had a beautiful cake today.
Oh, gorgeous.
And I had 4 bottles of red wine from Harrods. That was delicious as well. So I've done 2 videos. They're out on Instagram, so thank you for those people for sending me that. I'm sure the gentleman's just saved himself 1,100 quid. Will be sending me some liquid refreshment as well to Lineside Studios here in, I've just been caught out with something. A poll, should Gary do the parachute jump? I am not great on planes. I'm not sure I'd be brilliant on leaving one, but if you put it in, okay, there is always a chance. Now, if you do want to support somebody who's doing something for charity, my daughter is running the London Marathon. Anyone who's been on my journey for the last 6.5 years will know that she had an accident and broke her elbow, and that sent her to Great Ormond Street Hospital, and the surgeries she had at a local hospital were probably not as good as they could have been possibly, I don't know, because she ended up losing her right hand. So she only broke an elbow, she lost her right hand. So she's gone from Great Ormond Street Hospital in a very dark place on a lot of medication that were very difficult to get off, and a little bit straining on the mental side of her as well. But she's decided this year to run for Raise a Sunshine charity. She had to raise, and the story is really good because she came to me, she said, Dad, I've told them we can use your social media to help out. And I said, yeah, we can do that. She said, I've also told them I'm going to do some cake baking.
Nice.
And I'm also going to get my brother to help me wash cars so I can earn some money.
Bless.
She said, I've got to get $2.5 grand by July in order to run. And
This
I'm like,
could be doable.
I'm just like,
We've got it.
Okay, so wait for it. So I was there, I was like, right, okay. So I put it out on social media. 14 hours later, the great people of social media managed to hit that target, and we've exceeded it, and I'd like to continue to exceed it. The one thing she told me the next day, that the July was next year. And I was like, right. She said, I had to get £1,000 by Christmas. But they run the London Marathon in April. At what point do you think I thought your money had to be raised by July? So thank you ever so much for the people who have done that. It will still be live. The best place to find it is on Facebook. Okay, I will potentially put it in here. David Savory's last video also had it as a link as well, because of course David Savory's gone in. And what we like about David Savory, he put an extra £1 on than Mark Allison and wrote in the comments, the only reason I did that was to one up Mark Allison. And I love banter like that, because it's all for a good cause. So my daughter has started training. She's been out every day into the gym as well, as she now starts pounding the roads to build herself up from absolutely zero to running just over 26 miles next April. And I'd like to thank all the eFIXX team as well for supporting that, and they were early supporters as well. So thank you very much for that. But we want one more bombshell. That wasn't the bombshell. The government have done some announcing today, and in amongst all of that waffle, we need to unpack it to see if the humble electrician or humble homeowner, it's getting late, homeowner is going to benefit. Griff, jump in.
Jump, I see what you did.
Yeah, for the parachute.
Jump. You could always raise a bit more money, Gary, by doing that parachute jump for charity.
Yes.
I could.
That would be fantastic. We could talk about that.
Yeah, but it's the same people. I don't know if it's the same people. My good friends have come up clutch for me now, okay? And obviously on LinkedIn, go and find me.
And now you're bad friends. So today we've had some really fantastic news right the way across the sector. You've probably heard a lot of chat over the last 6 months about the government, full stop, but also a lot of chat about something called warm homes. So there's this great package of support that's been tabled, being promoted. Well, today in the spending review, we've had confirmation that they're going to put £13.2 billion towards the Warm Homes programme. Details to be finalised in October, but that should allow people that are and aren't means tested to access funding for things like heat pumps and solar and energy storage as well. So really exciting times. On top of that, we've also had the Warm Home Skills Competition. That's open for people, training providers such as ourselves, Gtec training, to apply for. And that's for the first time ever. We're getting indications that's around about 9 million spend for about 9,000 places. So we're looking at being able to fund that. But for the first time, that funding has been allocated to solar PV as well.
Drop the bomb, number 4. So there we go. There's no excuse. You don't need a smart meter. You don't need MCS, okay? You're going to get the training maybe supplemented or paid for, okay? And the homeowner's going to get the installation that they want as well. What more could you want? Just keeps dropping them. Just keep dropping the bombs. Have I missed any bombs out? I'm just going to check my bomb dropper while you go on and chat.
No, absolutely. I don't know what to say.
Oh, that's the idea of it.
I'm genuinely lost for words, which isn't great for a live stream, but no, that's just incredible. That's brilliant, and it's been all doom and gloom as well with all the with the funding not being there. Now it being opened up.
So if we can get the next one, it'll be balcony solar, and everyone's a winner, folks. It links in, doesn't it? Because those people are going to be absolutely snookered, aren't they? They've got no parking space, they've got no anything, have they?
They've got no snooker table.
They've got gutter in some of them, and some of them got windowsills. We can do something for them.
The G-sill.
Yeah, the G-sill. So I'd just like to say this is possibly the best amount of time and fun we've had prior to a show, and you've been incredible. And
so have you.
And I'd like it to stick that you're the Alan flying car of the electrical industry. Anyone sees you at a show needs to come up and do that, and you can do your OBA or whatever he does as he's saying.
Yeah.
Griff, you've done the most popular live streams we've ever done, and I'd like to think over time this will get up there and ranked. And the viewers, I'd like to think we've educated and entertained you for the last hour and a half.
But I think before we go, because
Don't
we
forget
did
to tidy up.
have a loser.
Oh no, you're not going to make him lose. He's the loveliest bloke in the
Who's
world.
the loser?
I was trying to save you, and you lost.
I say
What did I
a
lose?
loser.
You come
but
last.
A
On what?
loser who only
Last.
On what?
on your own.
Let's have a look. Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Oh, what, you timed me on this as well?
No.
Oh, I was going to say.
It's just for mugging off.
Right, oh, okay.
We love the people at Greencable.
Listen, do you know what? If my partner saw this right now, it wouldn't go well because I have a cleaner twice a week.
You don't surprise me. You do not surprise me.
And I have the Eufy robotic vacuum as well.
Who makes that?
Us. Anker.
They make everything, don't they?
No.
Send me a set of headphones.
I can't even believe it.
Voice.
Today, I cannot believe that I sat here and I was like, what are they that you've got? Oh, well, they're your microphones. I didn't even know we made them. We make so much.
Okay. Send a set in the post. I could do with a spare set.
Yeah.
Folks, it's been a fantastic live stream. We'd like to thank the people at Greencable. If you haven't got a Greencable bin, get one. I think they're even moving into areas where you live in the very near future. The link is in the description. Okay, you can fill up your bin. It's getting late. Fill up your bin with all your scrap copper. Okay, and they even now take data cables. I think they made them segregating before. Data cables are in there as well. And contact them. They'll come and pick it up and drop the money into your account. I think within 3 working days. You don't have to do anything other than order the bin, fill it up, and take the cash. Everybody on social media loves them. We love them. So if you haven't already got one, the link is in the description. If you want some training, people are now thinking I might have to wait a little bit in case it's free training, which is the one that may uncouple you in the short term. Griff's an award-winning training provider, the best in the country, and he also sits on panels and boards that write the regulations and rules for this. Also, Anker, the most entertaining member of staff they could have sent us in your Aaron form. Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're more than welcome. But we're going to be back in 1 week's time, and it's going to be you.
Yes.
And hopefully G-Dog. If it's not G-Dog, it will be me. But I'm off to the installer show, and you'll be able to see all the details on that and which stand I'm on as well. If you tune into this week's Monday's eFIXX News Weekly, you'll see where you can catch up with me and Joe if you're going to the installer show. Thank you very much. Thank you. Brilliant guests. We'll see you in a week.
First up, Anker with SOLIX X1. Early installs and it's looking fun. UK launch and reviews are glowing. Smart tariff talk, it's already flowing. eFIXX TV, it's where tech gets cheeky. Aaron's on mic and Griff's feeling sleeky. Solar's gone rogue in a loophole dance. No MCS, still a SEG cash advance. No smart meter, no rubber stamp, yet watts go out and money gets banked. How they pull it off, you might just shout. We're asking the same, but it still checks out. Griff's drop pounds, the scale's in shock. Lug inverters round the block. Gary's grinning, full of doubt, but Griff says, mate, I've been cutting out stout. So we sign off now from the energy zone, where loopholes bloom and exports have grown. eFIXX TV, it's been a blast. Catch you next time, we're moving fast.